Good evening, everybody. As usual, I'm just about to do a quick couple of invites in on here, so I'm going to take about a minute or so doing a quick invite. If you jump in on the broadcast nice and early, please do give it a share. Please do invite your friends down. I'm going to be talking about the 3 B's of business. We're on day 2 of the video series. It's a 10-day video series that I'm going to be running, talking about the 3 B's of business. Basically, the whole idea of this video series is to help any business, whether they're a small business or an established business, to achieve success and fast growth regardless of their industry. What I want to do is highlight all of the main key factors in any business that make it a success. So I'm going to be going over it in a minute. I'm just doing my quick invites first, and then I'll be kicking straight into it. So just done that. So again, if you're in early, please do give it a quick share. This is a free video series for the next 10 days doing the 3 B's of business, and those 3 B's are brand, build and budget. And today we're on day 2 of going into the content, delving a little bit deeper, and it still sits in the element of brand. What I want to do is focus in a little bit deeper on each of the elements and go a little bit deeper with you guys. So what I'm going to do is today is all going to be about web presence, social profile and the voice of your brand. Super important that we've talked about the reason why it's really important to pick the right name, the right logos and colors. I've given you an overview of what's going to be coming in the next 10 days, but what I really want to drill in on today is all about your web presence. Lots of businesses, fantastic customer service, amazing in the shop, but it doesn't stop when people leave your shop. There's a whole element of it. People discover you online, and when people leave your shop, they also come back to visit you online, and they want to have a look and find out more about you. They want to know your backstory. They want to know a little bit more information about you. They might want to find out about your products, your services, your background, and that element of your whole business is your web presence. Now, web presence comes in a whole load of different formats. So when I talk web presence, there's a whole range of elements to that. So we're talking about a website. It's having a website. I always talk when you have a website about it being your digital shop front. In the same way, I sit down here in Fargo Village, nice little boutique place with a lot of different types of stores, and there's cafes, and there's even live music going on downstairs now. They all have a physical shop front where people are here, they're enjoying a coffee, they're going to a vegan shop, they're checking out a clothing brand, they're buying bubble tea, that kind of thing, and they're at a physical location. But your web presence, your website plays a role as your digital shop front. So in the same way you need to keep your store up to date, you need to, if trends in colour schemes and things like that all change, and the styles in which shops are decorated changes, you would do it in your physical location. So it's super important that you do the same thing with websites. Algorithms change as well, as is something I'll be coming on to in a minute. As those algorithms change, obviously you need to build your site to work to those. More people are consuming most of their content on mobile now, so your site should probably be built from mobile first with the fallback to desktop. So super important that you're thinking about that within your website. Don't cut corners with your website. Don't just say, oh well, I could build it on my own, I could do that. If you're a new business, it is an investment in your business. Having a website can be really literally another version of your shop. You can make sales in your sleep if you have a good website. It could be building to more, it can build the relationship. It means you can control the whole customer experience. When it's your website, you have complete control over the customer experience when they're on your website. You can track it. Amazon's a really good example of this. Amazon tracks what you do online, and then they retarget you for things that you put in your basket that you didn't buy, or if there's something that you had in your basket and the price changes, they'll hit you up for that. So they're really customizing that whole experience for you, and so that's what they're doing with their website. So as well as that, we're talking web presence, your social media platforms. This is social profiles. So I talked about the name and being really important that you get the same name on all the different platforms so you're easy to find. Share them as well. Don't be afraid to cross promote between different platforms, so between your Facebook, your Instagram, your Snapchat, all those different bits and pieces. It's really important that you work really well with those social platforms. Be consistent across them. I've talked about this before, the consistency of name, the consistency of how you brand them, consistency of how you talk, which is part of today, is what's the tone of voice of your brand when you're online. In the same way, when someone comes to the shop, do they get the same experience all the time? Dependent on which member of staff they talk to when they come into the shop, is the experience completely different, or have you trained your whole team to deal with the customers in the same way so they get the same experience all the time? Coming back to it again, McDonald's sells most burgers in the world, but also doesn't necessarily sell the best burgers in the world. But people go there because they know what they're getting. They have a consistency that supersedes everything. Everything is done by systems and processes and is exact. I'm not saying be like McDonald's as in everything about the business, but their systems and processes, how they do it, how they talk, how they deliver, what you expect is the same. So this element is all about your web presence, social profiles, and the voice of your brand. So how do you talk? Are you going to take on the voice of a character that represents your business? Are you going to speak as the actual members of the team? Are you going to talk about are you going to talk as a personal brand or as a business brand? You want the individuals in the business to be the voice of it. So for example, if you have people presenting and stuff like presenting stuff on your behalf, so they're putting up content, they're talking, they're commenting, all of that stuff, is it going to be the person that is doing it, or do you want them to talk as the company? So it's up to you how you portray yourself, but have a really long, hard think about how you do it. Be consistent, regardless of who it is that is online. Shouldn't matter if like day to day, if it's a different person answering questions, replying to emails, the tone of voice that people experience in the shop, online, and in responses online should all be congruent, and you should have that consistency level across that as well. So website, it's your digital shop front. Social media platforms, be consistent with them. Make sure that they are easy to find. You've made them accessible. You're consistent with the branding, which is colors, the naming, so having the same social profile handles, which means you will be probably constricted to about 15 characters in your social profile titles, so that you can fit to all of the different platforms there. But the tone of voice is the most important part of all of this. The experience you want to create for your customer is one that is outstanding. You don't want to be just another shop or just another service doing what you do. You want people to remember the experience that they have with you. Watched a brilliant roundup by Brian Fanzo at iSocial Fans today, talking about the new Facebook algorithm and how it's more about people and the connection and that experience. And that's kind of where the algorithm's going with Facebook. They want it to be about the people and the personal connection. So it's always relationship. We harp on about it all the time in marketing, about the fact it's building relationships. The end value of a really good relationship with your customers is the best way to increase the amount of sales you get, is to turn customers into advocates, and when they advocate, it becomes free marketing for you. You don't have to say to them, go and share this, do this. People who love a good brand will go and talk about it, and they actively promote your company and business. So it's one of the most powerful forms of marketing as well. It's exactly the same reason that Facebook integrated recommendations. If you ask for a recommendation, it pops up and you can tag people into it. Part of that is because your closest peers recommending something is a really strong factor in whether you eat in a certain place, visit a certain place, or go and take part in a certain activity or attend a certain event. So the relationship side is super, super important. If you're running a business, how you portray yourself online, how you talk to people is all about building that relationship up, and like they're all building blocks. They all work together. They're not all individual, and a lot of business owners seem to leave these as individual items that they try to deal with separately. Unfortunately, it doesn't work like that. You have to have consistency across everything that you do. All your social platforms should have a similar tone of voice. They should have the similar branding, and how you do things should be the same. So the systems and processes that we'll be coming to within the 10 days video series, I'll be talking about systems and processes and the consistency in another video. But Tomorrow's video is going to be all about team and culture, and when you've got a really good team and culture, it will carry out a lot of the things I've talked about for you today. When you have different people dealing online and stuff like that, it will come through, and I'll talk to you about how to build good team and culture and the common mistakes that people make in business. I've seen it. Music industry is a fantastic example of this. Worked in the industry for about 10 years, and the mistakes that I consistently see people making about how they treat the people that they're working with and things like that. I've seen it across a whole range of industries, but I'm going to talk a little bit tomorrow about the music industry and how there's mistakes being made there. Same with a lot of organisations when they're doing their hiring process and things like that, but I'm going to touch in on that tomorrow. I hope you guys have got some value from this. I hope that there's been some nuggets of information for you. Like I said, I'm trying to make them about 9 minutes. My timer is just going off now for 9 minutes. Today was all about web presence, social profiles, and the tone of voice of your business online. This is the 3 B's of business video series. It's a 10-day video series. It's free. If you get any value from this, please do share this with your friends. And if you've got any questions or any feedback on things that you hear in these videos, I'd love you to post in the comments below. And when I come off the broadcast, I jump back on and see what people have been saying, have a little bit of an interaction, a conversation there. If you want to hit me up privately and ask something, then please feel free to do that as well. Always love hearing from you guys. Like I said, it's all about the relationship and talking and building out that relationship. So thanks a lot for your time this evening, guys. Really appreciate you spending a bit of time with me as I launch this video series for the 3 B's of business. I've been Tristan Griffiths, and I run a digital media agency called It's Nomad 9. If you want to find out a bit more, please do hit me up and I'll be sure to send you some links. I'll catch you tomorrow, guys. Take care.